There are some devices that you start using and instantaneously you see it standing out in the crowd. Lenovo's ThinkPad X1 Fold does exactly that. As a foldable computer, there's so many different applications to using this thing. It can be configured to work as a traditional laptop, a huge tablet, and that's just the basics without the optional accessories. The ThinkPad X1 Fold is a peek into what the next generation of computer technology can be, and I am here for it. Let's take a closer look. And if you haven't already, please be sure to check out our rebranded website at Sypnotix.com. This review will be in article format there, but there's also a ton of other really cool articles exclusive to our site from our contributors that you don't want to miss out on. Thank you so much to Lenovo for sending us a review unit of the ThinkPad X1 Fold. All thoughts and opinions are our own, and they did not get to preview this video prior to us publishing it. Without further ado, let's get back to it. We've seen a few implementations of foldable devices in the past, and what has perhaps been the hardest part about making an immersive screen is the hinge when it folds. Naturally, this was one of the first things that I kept staring at with the Fold, and even many weeks later in my review period, I am still pleased at how it looks. The Fold flat hinge not only has a satisfying aesthetic appeal to it when folded, but the display looks seamless regardless of what position it's in. In fact, the entire X1 Fold is honestly built very sturdy and maintains Lenovo's quality and durability despite the vulnerable new form factor. The exterior of the X1 Fold has a black textured recycled PET woven performance fabric cove. Metal is noticeable on the hinge and frame sides. When folded up close, it's reminiscent of a thin textbook, quite easy to grab and hold with one hand. Both the Lenovo and ThinkPad logos are displayed proudly in a rubber material across the front, but are neither obtrusive nor obnoxious. When closed, the X1 Fold has no gaps in it, which is an impressive design feat that safely protects the OLED panel display using magnesium alloy support panels. Weighing only 2.78 pounds, without the keyboard and stand, it's easy to imagine this being used by business people and travelers on the go. In terms of ports and buttons on the laptop itself, there's 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, 1 USB-C port, volume rockers, and a power button. There's a 5-megapixel camera, 3 speakers with Dolby Atmos enabled sound, and 4 array microphones. The 16.3-inch folding 2560 by 2024p OLED display is obviously the star of the X1 Fold. The touchscreen is responsive, and I noticed that compared to other displays, it's especially saturated in color and really lively looking. This is thanks to its 100% DCI-P3 color gamut, Dolby Vision, and 600 nit HDR display. The 4:3 aspect ratio makes it easy to adapt to, but as a result of its unique functionality, I noticed that some websites and apps still looked a little awkward on it at times. If you're accustomed to a wide aspect ratio, this display is more like using a tablet than a traditional laptop. Nevertheless, there's plenty to admire about the screen on the Fold, and watching media on it feels very immersive thanks to all of the added real estate. For those looking to use the X1 Fold for work, the 3 stereo speakers featuring Dolby Atmos sound and 4 microphones gives you loud and clear audio no matter what position you have the Fold in. My original concerns that audio would be muffled in certain positions were quickly nullified, and this is thanks to Lenovo's design cues that incorporate the speakers in all different directions. The X1 Fold variant that we're reviewing is powered by a 12th gen Intel Core i7 processor with 1TB of SSD and 32GB of storage. It has Intel Iris Xe graphics and does not have its own dedicated graphics card. In theory, the Fold has plenty of power to rely on, and while I mostly used it for media consumption and work application purposes, I didn't notice it overworking itself. That being said, where the X1 Fold is stunted most is through Windows 11. Keep in mind, if you're using the X1 Fold, you're basically a beta tester for this foldable computer concept, so of course, there's going to be hiccups in software and applications. But the majority of hiccups that I experienced were mostly as a result of Windows 11 and less so the actual hardware. For example, there were times when my applications would just suddenly start flickering on the screen, or my desktop would suddenly reload. Windows has had a long, troubled history with tablet to desktop transitions, and it gets even more funky when you add this folding aspect into this. Windows 11 doesn't recognize what it should be transitioning to a lot of the time. It takes a moment to gather itself in order to orient the task that it was assigned. Sometimes a soft or hard reset is needed to exit out of a stuck screen. What takes the X1 Fold experience to the next level of user experience are thanks to the accessories. Both sold as optional add-ons, the Fold can be used with the Lenovo Precision Pen as a stylus and/or the keyboard and stand combination. I found the stylus to be most useful in tablet mode and would be a great tool for designers or note takers who want a large display to write on. As for the keyboard, it can be held in place with the device via magnets. With a full-size Bluetooth keyboard complete with ThinkPad trackpoint and a fingerprint reader, the keyboard can seamlessly connect with the X1 Fold with the flick of a switch. There's so many ways to use the X1 Fold, and this is where the integration of all of these parts shine. When folded, the keyboard and stand can be stacked on top of the computer into carry mode. Lenovo touts that this is about the same size as a 12-inch laptop and can be conveniently packed anywhere. This is probably the thickest combination, and while it may be a little bulky when shoved into a laptop section of a backpack, it's a great option for on the go. Portrait mode really lets you utilize the full size of the X1 Fold and ensures the laptop to fully prop onto the stand. The pen can then attach magnetically. I've been writing articles for the Sypnotix in this mode and have enjoyed the taller screen for multitasking purposes. In both these orientations, I did notice that if I adjusted the X1 Fold too much, there was a higher risk of it getting disconnected from the stand as the magnet is just stable enough to keep it in place. It doesn't take much force to dislodge the tablet. For a true laptop experience, you can also snap the keyboard magnetically to the X1 Fold when folded and go into clamshell mode. The camera is situated like a traditional laptop in this experience, and while the display is much smaller and narrower, it does allow users to utilize the full-size keyboard traditionally like a laptop layout. Alternatively, when the X1 Fold is in portrait mode folded, the lower half display can display into its own digital QWERTY keyboard and can be used via touch typing. I like using this mode for casual browsing, but when typing up emails or looking to write anything with serious intent, you're better off using the combination with the actual physical keyboard. Finally, you can also use the X1 Fold as an e-reader. I found this size to be perfect for reading, but only for short-term periods, as the device can feel heavy when trying to read it like a book. Nevertheless, it's just incredible the amount of ways that you can use the X1 Fold with its accessories, and there's so much potential baked into this product that I've barely touched the surface. The X1 Fold has 2 cell batteries, one 48 watt-hour and another 16 watt-hour for a combined 64 watt-hour. Lenovo claims that you can get 4 hours of runtime on a 30-minute charge. The battery life is actually pretty good on this device, and I've had no issues with it handling Windows 11 work. Even letting videos run for hours at a time, I found with a full charge and casual usage, I was able to squeeze out roughly 6 hours of battery life. If you're using the accessories with the X1 Fold, note that the keyboard requires charging as well, separately via USB-C. The Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Fold is perhaps the first foldable device that I've used that really makes me feel like we're stepping into the next generation of computing technology. It actually makes sense in how it works together, and it doesn't feel like a gimmick. Sure, there are bugs that are bound to happen, so I still see this device being purchased by those who aren't wary of first or second gen-ish technology, but this is exactly the type of device that we want to see propping the pillars for the future. I'm Lida from the Sypnotix. Let me know what you think of the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Fold in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!